I reviewed the original Maonocaster a while back, and while I liked it quite a bit, I couldn't really use it the way that I wanted to after reviewing it because it never really had an XLR port. But that changes with their latest model. Maono sent this one out to me, and I think that they've got something really good going here. If you need a budget audio interface with the soundpad, then this is probably the first one that I would go for. So introducing the Maonocaster E2. Let's dive right in. For more content, do make sure to subscribe to this channel because we upload fairly often and focus on all sorts of tech products. So do make sure to leave us a like and comment any of your thoughts down below while you're at it. It really helps us with the algorithm. And if you want to support us further, then we've actually got a Patreon open which offers early access to content and special insight to projects that I'm always working on in case that is something that interests you. So links to everything down below. So let's begin with an unboxing. Inside of the box, you're going to find some foam and instructions. Then you will come across the actual interface itself and a box that contains all of your important cables, such as two 3.5mm cables and a USB-C cable for a direct connection. So right over here, the exterior design consists of plastic, and this is where I do wish that we had a better build for this interface, but considering the price and everything that is packed into it, I don't think that I can ask for too much more. It's a lightweight interface, but it is still built well enough for the price. On the front, you're going to find, for example, over here, you're actually going to get quite a few things. Like you're going to be getting two giant knobs over here that are going to be important for maneuvering your headphone volume, such as like what you can hear back onto your ears. Then you actually have a separate knob for monitoring, so that's something that you can toggle on and off if you want to. I obviously like to keep it all the way on, and then you have the output volume, which is going to control just how much of the output, so from the microphone, for example, is going straight into your computer. And then you have like an actual mic gain knob, which is going to be where you're going to hear back. And then you actually have some EQ options over here. So you have a low end knob, mids knob, and a high knob. You also have inst, which quite frankly, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Then you have pitch, so you can adjust the pitch of your voice here. If you want like a lower pitch or a higher pitch, then you can most certainly get that. And then you also have some auto tuning options over here. Now, granted, you actually have some meters to be able to look at just how loud everything is. For example, for the microphone, you actually have a meter for that. You have one for monitoring as well, the sound pad, the output, aux, and that kind of thing. Now, one really cool thing about this interface is that you actually have a sound pad or sample pad right on the front, and it's got 8 buttons for it. However, you do have some recording options over here, so you have A, B, and C. So you have a total of 11 buttons for customization. A, B, and C are going to be for recording your own effects onto it, by the way. And then you're also going to get some other knobs on the side, which are going to be for pad volume, and then these are going to be specific to reverbs. This is going to be for depth and decay time. And you also get some things over here like reverb presets, which quite frankly I'm not a huge fan of because I feel like in the monitoring I can't turn that off. And then you've actually got the side chain, you've got the music only mode, and then you can switch between dry and wet, or you can turn that setting off altogether if you want. Loop back, and then the denoiser, which I try not to use because I feel like it's a very aggressive noise gate, so I try not to use it. But that's going to be pretty much everything that you're going to get around the front of this device. Then on the top, you're going to find a power button, a lighting toggle button, two USB-C ports, two 3.5mm ports, which are going to be for output live, a monitor SPK port, an aux in port, a 3.5mm microphone port, a mic switch for switching between your condenser and dynamic settings to get both types of microphones to work, a 1/4-inch port, and an XLR port. On the bottom, they're going to be two 3.5mm headphone jacks. So the lighting is mostly here for aesthetics, but they do look pretty good. It's not super bright, but if you're going to be in a dim room already, then these are going to look quite nice. Just about everything on this interface has some lighting on it, such as the sample pad buttons, the meters around the knob, and more. It's pretty nice to have these options available to me. Now, when it comes to customization, you can add your own sound effects onto the sound pad and treat this like a more personalized interface where you can play whatever sound effects you decided to load onto it, which is really cool. So whenever the podcast comes back into action, I will be sure to use these, for example. Now we're going to get directly onto the sound test, and this is what the Rode PodMic, which is my microphone of choice for this test, is going to sound like with the Maonocaster E2. And as you can see, the audio is actually fairly clean from everything that I've been able to hear, and that's going directly straight into the interface and into my computer, I would say that the audio does sound pretty good. And it's not just because of the microphone. I mean, the interface is getting some work done over here as well. And you do get some EQ options over here to mess around with. Like if you wanted to adjust the low end or the mids or the highs, they can most certainly do that. It's not the best EQ that I have seen on an interface out there. However, it does still work pretty well and it does get the job done if you need it to. Quite frankly, I would much rather have this available to me here than not. Now, like I have said before, there are going to be dry and wet options for messing around with your audio here, and there is going to be a denoiser, which is really just going to be a noise gate. Now, like these are not settings that I love using, quite frankly, because when it comes to presets, I'm just not a fan of presets. I would rather just do the customizations on my own. So I would rather adjust the low end and the mids and the highs individually, which I'm perfectly capable of doing through this interface as is. But anyway, like this is the kind of sound that you should expect out of it. I have actually been speaking into this microphone that has been connected onto this interface the entire time. And I would say that does sound pretty good for what it is. I don't really have any complaints about how it's handling it as is. However, there is one thing that's bothering me here, and that actually has to do with the monitoring. Now, I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong here or what's going on exactly, but I just can't get the reverb off of the monitoring here. I'm sure that there is a way of doing it, but I haven't been able to figure out how. I've looked through the instructions for how to be able to get rid of how the reverb effects, how to be able to turn that off. And like it doesn't translate into the actual audio. So on the bright side, like that's not what other people are hearing. Other people are not hearing that same reverb that I'm hearing right now. So it has been actually kind of uncomfortable to record while monitoring my audio because I haven't been able to turn off my reverb at all. And I would like to figure out how. So Maono, please, if you know how, let me know how, because I really want to be able to turn off that reverb, or so that I can get a more accurate read of what I'm actually recording. In conclusion, this is a really cool interface, and I really like what Maono has been doing on the XLR front. We need more options and competitors in this space, and I appreciate Maono coming in with an interface that has an actual XLR port, works with just about any microphone that you want to use with it, and has an actual sample pad for streamers and podcasters. I think that for about $130, you're getting quite a lot for your money. It's not the cleanest sound, but you even have an EQ settings on board, which I struggle to find on a lot of budget interfaces. I am a fan of the E2, and I am pretty comfortable recommending it to those who are on a budget. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way up until the very end. It is always appreciated. Now, I am going to be leaving links down below. They aren't going to be to Amazon, since this interface doesn't appear to be available on Amazon right now, so they're just going to be directly to Maono's website. It's not an affiliate link, so don't worry too much about that. And I would also love to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, beginning with the tier 3. Omar, thank you so much for all of your support, because it really does go a very long way. And everybody else, the tier 2s and the tier 3s, thank you so much for everything, because it all really does help quite a lot. Please make sure to follow me on Twitch, where I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do usually stream for like about an hour or so, but I'm always more than happy to answer any questions that you might have live. So links to that down below. Same to my Instagram if you're interested in seeing my posts, the ones that go up every now and then. Oh, with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and until next time, have a good one. Enjoy.